I'm Gaurav Sawant. One blow after the other to Pakistan, a state sponsor of terror. We'll discuss that in greater detail, but first as always, the headlines. Adani stocks remain in the red despite the withdrawal of its follow-on public offer. Market regulator SEBI to probe the rout. RBI puts Adani Group on its watch list. Fireworks in Parliament over Adani. Both houses adjourned after sloganeering. Opposition accuses the centre of giving benefit only to one group, demands an in-depth investigation. Major development in the Delhi Liquorgate investigations. The Enforcement Directorate claims that scam money was used to fund Aam Aadmi Party's Goa campaign. Arvind Kejriwal calls the allegations a fiction. The Shaligram stones reach Ayodhya from Nepal. Thousands gather to offer prayers at Ayodhya. Idol of Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram and Devi Sita will now be built. Mega India Today impact after highlighting his plight. Former national level hockey player Paramjit Singh, who was working as a porter, he's been given a job by Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann. Our top focus story is a huge financial blow to Pakistan. The International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, has rejected Pakistan's circular debt management plan. The IMF wants Pakistan to hike electricity prices by another approximately 12 rupees per unit. The IMF delegation is currently in Pakistan holding talks as part of the 9th review for a total of $7 billion of extended fund facility. Pakistan is virtually on the edge. Pakistan was forced to free the dollar, an IMF precondition. Dollar prices in Pakistan shot up from approximately 225 Pakistani rupees to a dollar to more than 270 Pakistani rupees to $1 US. That's not all. Petrol and diesel prices too have gone through the roof in Pakistan, increased by close to 35 rupees per litre, again something that the IMF wanted. Petrol in Pakistan now costs 250 Pakistani rupees to a litre. Diesel is about 262 Pakistani rupees per litre. And there is anger and anguish across the country. There are some in Pakistan, including those in the media in Pakistan, who say enough is enough. Pakistan will not be able to take the world for a ride anymore.
पाकिस्तान जैसे मुल्क जो हैं ये डेढ़ के आने हैं, इनको लगता है सारी दुनिया बेवकूफ है। मैं आपको सच बता रहा हूं, बीइंग ए पाकिस्तानी मैं आपको ये बात बता रहा हूं, बीइंग ए पाकिस्तानी मैं आपको ये बात बता रहा हूं कि पाकिस्तानियों को लगता है सारी दुनिया बेवकूफ है, अकेले हम अक्लमंद हैं। सारी दुनिया गंदी है, एक अकेले हम अच्छे। सारी दुनिया में ऐब नाउजुबिल्लाह, बेऐब तो सिर्फ जात मेरे रब की है और कोई नहीं। लेकिन हम नाउजुबिल्लाह अजीम तरीन कौम है। ये पागलपन का, दीवानेपन का शिकार है हम। ठीक है, अब इशू ये कि इसमें हम IMF को मामू बनाना चाहते हैं। IMF मामू नहीं बनता, ना ही बैनुल-अक़वामी मालियाती निजाम मामू बनता है।
So Pakistan tried to take the International Monetary Fund for a ride. That's what a Pakistani journalist claims, and IMF says nothing doing. Joining me for more on the story is Ambassador Vishnu Prakash. He was India's former Consul General. He served in Pakistan. Also with me is Oais Mangalwala. He's a senior journalist who joins us from Islamabad in Pakistan. And Oais Mangalwala, if I could come to you first. Sir, we will talk about protests by the police in Peshawar and the political war between PMLN and PTI in a moment, but for the moment I want to focus on Pakistan's economy today. The Pakistani media is reporting IMF has rejected Pakistan government's revised circular debt management program. How are people reacting to this? What's the buzz on ground? And some within Pakistan are saying that Pakistan tried to take everyone for a ride. No longer. That free ride's now over. Oes Manglawala, can you hear me?
Yes, Gaurav, I can hear you.
Brilliant. What's the buzz on ground after IMF rejected Pakistan's plan and said they have to increase prices even more now?
Okay, now first of all, let's make it clear that IMF has not rejected Pakistan's plan. That's the news, and that can be a wish of many people, many countries, but that is not exactly the case. So, what happened in the meeting? If you allow me, I can tell you
Go
what
on.
exactly happened in the meeting.
Go on.
Okay, so the visiting mission chief of IMF, the Nathan Porter, he raised questions about the implication of the opposition's role in difficult decisions that Pakistan would have to make in order to avoid the default. Now, the plans are that the government is trying to impose some new taxes. They are trying to raise around 300 billion rupees. And they are planning to bring a new budget. And obviously, Nathan was concerned about it because, the political situation in Pakistan, it's volatile, and the opposition obviously would raise hue and cry about these new taxes. So Nathan Porter was worried about it. And he expressed all these concerns during this opening round. But my sources, they say that the IMF mission chief said that the fund had concerns. Now, these are the words. The fund has concerns that the opposition might create some problems in the way.
Sir, you wanted $1.1 billion. You haven't got it, at least as of now. It's the Pakistani media that's reporting that's been rejected. Fair enough. You may want to sugarcoat it, and you're well within your rights. You may want to sugarcoat it, but for how long? For how long? Your political parties may want to mislead the people, but even if media tries to do that, fair enough. Fine by us. But Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, Pakistan has hiked electricity rates. Pakistan has hiked gas rates, petrol prices. IMF wants Pakistan to do more. Virtually everybody wants Pakistan to do more, whether it's on terror or even on its financial front. Does Pakistan have an option, especially with UAE also telling Pakistan, get IMF on board, reform, and then get aid?
In between. Can you come a little bit slowly? I lost your voice in between.
That's okay. I'm taking a question with Ambassador Vishnu Prakash. We'll try and improve our connection with you. That may be a problem there. Go on, Ambassador.
Thank you, Gaurav. You asked a very pertinent question a little earlier, in addition to what you've asked now, whether wisdom has dawned on Pakistan. Let me allow your audience to decide. Mr. Abdul Basit, who was the former Foreign Secretary and also High Commissioner to India, after the recent terrible Peshawar mosque attack tweeted, "We all know who is behind the suicide blast in Peshawar today. TTP continues to be funded by one of our neighbors." Certainly he was not talking of Afghanistan. Well, that is my response to your question, whether wisdom has dawned. To be honest, and it's sad, but Pakistan is simultaneously facing three emergencies.
Yes.
Security emergency, political emergency, and financial emergency. And the root cause is a number of addictions. The addiction of jihad, addiction of Kashmir, the hate India addiction, the leadership addiction, self-appointed leader of Islamic world, and of course, one of the big addictions, which is debt, borrowing money. And Pakistan has gone to IMF for 24 times
yes.
for debt relief in the last 50 years. But, their policy still is not on developing Pakistan. The policy focuses on hurting India. And even now they are funding Khalistani activities.
Yes.
So that is where Pakistan is. The priorities unfortunately are misplaced. Let me quote you actual figures which were published in the Pakistani newspaper. In the 5 months between July and November 2022, this is the first 5 months of this financial year, 1.7 trillion rupees or 88% of the federal income for the 5 months was paid on debt servicing.
Debt servicing, absolutely.
88%. 25% was paid on defense alone. So 107% of the net federal income was spent on just these two things. And what was the expenditure on development? It was a small amount. So that is how things are going.
You know, and
And
the
the federal
impact of
budget
price
deficit.
rise. Absolutely, sir. You know, and it is for Pakistan to sort out its own mess. But the impact of price rise and dollars vanishing from Pakistan now visible on ground. Pakistan is down to less than $3.6 billion. Again, I'm quoting the Pakistani media, which according to the Pakistani media is good enough only for about 3 weeks of essential imports. It effectively may be even less. The country is actually running out of essentials. Now, you're looking at those images of people running for atta. These images of people running behind trucks for flour, for atta. Army resorting to firing to protect trucks carrying atta. They're only too common now in Pakistan, but now there's a report that says Pakistan could soon run out of cooking oil and ghee. The Pakistani government is not releasing dollars to secure the consignment of oil and ghee at ports in Pakistan. Apparently, they don't have enough dollars. The Traders Association has issued a statement saying that the country has stocks effective barely a fortnight. They may be able to stretch it to a month max. The Traders Association says they've repeatedly urged Pakistan's finance minister to intervene. They even want Pakistan's prime minister to intervene, but no one is listening to them. And the crisis will only escalate with the holy month of Ramzan fast approaching. I once again want to bring in our guest and OS Manglawala. Shortage of atta, ghee, onion, prices of petrol, electricity, gas, all of it shooting up. How are people in Pakistan actually coping? Give us a sense of how are people reacting to this crisis?
Yes, you to please do not interrupt when I'm speaking in between, because the audio it becomes messed up. So that'll be better if I go on continuously. Okay, now first of all, I want to make it clear that everything is not about India. I mean, India is a big country. Okay, we are neighbors. We have got our relationship complications. But everything, every decision, everything doesn't come to India, and we are not, obviously, India is not on our nerves, okay? So you have to make it clear.
I will request you, please, brevity will have to be your forte. The question I ask you, my request is please answer the question I ask you and not a preamble to your constitution.
You relate everything to India, you relate everything.
Again, you're not answering my question, Oais. I'm sorry, I will have to cut you because time is at a premium. I asked you a very specific question, Oais. I would be grateful if you answer the question that I've asked you.
Coming to what you were asking.
Yes, please.
See, the problem is that the world default, when you talk about economics, when you talk about finance, it's not a big problem. Okay, when you listen to it, it sends shivers down the spines of our policymakers and our citizens. Yes, there are issues. People are standing in queues to buy atta, to buy wheat, and the petrol prices are going up. Dollar is like uncapped, so it's around 270. These are issues. But let me tell you, in economic terms, in economic sense, default means that the government reneging on its obligations. And as far as this definition is concerned, every country has defaulted in a way. Every country has debt restructuring, and this is a normal thing. When IMF came to Pakistan, I spoke to the people in the Chamber of Commerce, and they said they are very hopeful. Yes, IMF has given some conditions, and they said that we have got some concerns, but obviously Mr. Ishaq Dar is there, the finance minister is there, he's negotiating with them, and he's given clear outlines. He says that we will be implementing our policies in a way that the courts cannot take them down. He told them that we will be implementing our policies through the
said something to the effect, Allah bharose Pakistan. Maybe he's saying something else to you, and he's saying something else on television, but he's very clearly said Pakistan is Allah bharose, and the riots that we see on the streets clearly, you may try to present a rosy picture, fair enough. It's fair enough, let me bring in Ambassador Vishnu Prakash once again. Sir, the crisis may be real, but has it reached a tipping point? And I'm coming to a very serious question, sir. Has it come to a tipping point that Pakistan will stop funding radical Islamist terror, or even, as far as India is concerned, the Khalistanis? My question very specifically, Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, is cut down ISI and Pakistan Army budget, or will even IMF not be able to get Pakistan to do that?
Well, I am afraid that they may still be quite far away, and that is why I had consciously not brought India, but I had referred to Abdul Basit and pointed out how he brought India even when there was this horrible attack on the Peshawar mosque.
Yes.
So that is the whole problem. You're talking of belt tightening. There are newspaper reports that in the first 6 months of the current financial year, Pakistani government has allowed to import 2,200 luxury vehicles.
Yes.
Now, when there is so much of pressure on foreign exchange, are luxury vehicles more important? Now, it is not for us to decide because it is for the Pakistan, and Pakistanis are intelligent people. It's for them to decide what do they want. And for that, IMF is very clear. There has to be a national consensus on handling the debt. How can you handle debt of this magnitude if you are a house divided yourself? If there is so much of political finger pointing? So, I mean, the 101 of handling a debt is that you have to have a national unity government. You have to set aside your political differences and bring the people, take the people into confidence. I'm afraid Pakistan is tinkering at the edges.
Okay.
It is sad to see it go the way it is going, but that's the reality, and I hope I'm wrong.
Okay, well, I'm not too sure on that, sir. You hope you're wrong, but isn't jelly state Pakistan good? It doesn't enable them to spread terror. But I want to come to a big story, and I want our viewers to see this. This is unprecedented in Pakistan. Protests against Pakistan's notorious spy agency, the ISI, in Pakistan, in Peshawar. Armed police personnel. Now, these people you see on your television screen, they are Pakistan police personnel in Peshawar, shouting slogans against Pakistan's notorious spy agency, the ISI. The police personnel were also joined by members of civil society in Pakistan. The death toll in the Peshawar police line's mosque attack has crossed 100. The number of injured has crossed 200. Listen to these protesters. Watch these images very carefully. Men and women in uniform protesting. These men and women in uniform, and I want our producers to come back to that picture of the police personnel protesting. The police personnel protesting are the ones who fought Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan on ground in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Their anger stems from the fact that Pakistan Army and ISI stand accused of hobnobbing with the Taliban. Look at one more image that went viral globally. The image of Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid, then Director General of Pakistan's ISI, at the Serena Hotel in Kabul after the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. Pakistan was gloating. Pakistan was gloating about having defeated two superpowers. First, the Soviet Union, and then the United States of America. Pakistan was gloating that they were virtually in control of Afghanistan. Red flags were raised when TTP fighters were released from Afghan jails. But even Imran Khan, then Prime Minister of Pakistan, spoke of rehabilitating them. Now these images and those statements have come back to haunt Pakistan, including these protests.
हमें कोई भी नहीं डरा सकता ना हम डरने वाले हैं इंशाअल्लाह दहशतगर्दों ने जो करना है जो कर सकते हैं वो करें हम इनके मुकाबले के लिए आए इनके मुकाबले के लिए वर्दी पहनी है लेकिन हमें सिर्फ इख्तियारात मिल जाए ताकि अपने इख्तियारात में जो हमें इख्तियारात जो हमें आइन जो हमें कानून इजाजत देगा ताकि हम उससे तलाशी भी ले सकें और उस पे हाथ भी रख सकें.
OS Manglawala, unprecedented protests against the ISI in Pakistan. What do you make of it?
So, can you hear me properly, Gaurav?
Go on.
Okay. So, if you say it's unprecedented, yes, it is unprecedented in Pakistan, but it's not unprecedented in India. We all remember how Indian army men complained about the food being served to them.
Okay.
We all remember
Again,
how
not everything is about India, you said in your last sentence, and now you talk about India. Seriously, I mean, you guys are facing an existential crisis and you want to talk about India? I don't have time to waste. Seriously, you want to talk about that? I haven't called you to talk about what's happening in India. I have Ambassador Vishnu Prakash for that. I have called you to talk about what's happening in Pakistan. If you are ashamed of what's happening in Pakistan, sir, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We don't want Pakistanis to talk about us, but Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, is this just an outburst after loss of 100 lives, or is this a departure from the past? Because why I'm not very hopeful, Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, and I only want Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, please. Why I'm not very hopeful, Ambassador Vishnu Prakash, is because you remember Army Public School Peshawar attack in 2014? 150 Pakistan Army school children and teachers were killed. Similar allegations were leveled that Pakistan deep state was involved even there. TTP terrorists were released. The same thing is happening now. Ambassador Vishnu Prakash.
No, Gaurav, you're right, and that is what is coming to my mind also. It is, I am really saddened and shocked at what is happening. But the fact is that the Pakistani leaders, the civil servants, and even sections of the civil society refuse to smell the coffee. They are living in denial. They are living in a dreamland. What can you do to awaken them out of the slumber? Frankly, I do not know. But all I know is that the enemy lies within, not without. India is not the enemy. The solutions cannot be found outside. The solutions have to be found within the country by the people of Pakistan,
Yep.
by the leadership of Pakistan. And I would sincerely wish them good luck.
Okay, now a huge allegation has been leveled by a former Pakistan Army officer. He's a battle casualty himself. He's an Imran Khan supporter. He's taken to the social media to say that Pakistan Army was responsible for the police line's mosque attack. Listen in to Major Adil Raja. He's a disabled Pakistan Army soldier. He's leveled a grave allegation. Listen in.
फौजी अफसरान का ये कहना है, जो हाजिर सर्विस फौजी अफसरान जो मेरे सोर्सेज हैं, उनका ये कहना है सीनियर का, कि ये जो हमें तरीका बताया जाता है वही इंप्लीमेंट किया गया है पेशावर के अंदर. अपने ही एजेंसीज ने किस तरह धमाका करवाना है और किस तरह उसका फायदा उठाना है, और फायदा क्या है कि इलेक्शन को डिले करवाना है, जो आपको आपका वजीर दिफा भी कह रहा है, लीग के मुख्तलिफ लीडर्स भी कह रहे हैं, बहाना बनाना है और बहाने बना के इलेक्शन डिले करवाना है. और ये बात आज जो हुकूमत में बैठे हैं वो इससे पहले ये भी करते रहे हैं बात सियासतदान.
These allegations have been leveled in the past. These allegations have been leveled once again, both times in Peshawar and both times when these serious terror attacks have taken place. At Army Public School in Peshawar, 150 children and teachers were killed there. And again here at the police line's mosque in Peshawar, where 101 people have been killed, several are critical. Owais and friends in Pakistan, they need to ponder, they need to look within and deal with the situation. We, of course, will be watching this very, very closely. Owais Manglawala in Pakistan and Ambassador Vishnu Prakash in Delhi for joining me here on this India First special. Many thanks.